Okay, so we're solving equations. So we've got to think through what we do when we solve equations. Well, solve means find the value of x or y or whatever letter they've got in the equation that will make this sum a true sum. So we're saying 5 times something, add on 19, will give me an answer of 74. So we need to get back to what that something is. Well, it's best to learn that opposite operations will always get you back to where you need to be, just like rearranging formulae. So I want to get to x, so I want the 19 to disappear. So 19 take away 19 will become 0, but the equals tells me to make things fair, so I do the same to both sides of the equal sign. 74 take away 19, 55, and then 5x, because 19 take away 19 is 0, so nothing left. I need to know what 1x is, because I need to know the value of x. 5 times x, so the opposite of timesing, divide. So I'm going to end up with x is equal to 11. I should check that that works. So the original thing says 5 times the number, so 5 times 11, add on 19. Well, 5 times 11 is 55, add 19, gives me 74. Yeah, happy days, it worked. So solving equations then, it's all about doing opposite operations to leave you with the letter that you need the answer for. And just do it step by step, and then you'll get to the letter, the answer for the letter. But you must check that it actually works, because sometimes we make a silly mistake. We did a takeaway when we should have done an add and so forth. So we know the answer here is going to be 11. This one, we want to solve it, but at the moment we've got a bracket in the way. So best way is to expand the bracket. Sometimes there's quicker ways, but habits that work. Expand the bracket first. 4 lots of 2y is 8y. 4 lots of 5 is 20, but we've got minus, so it's minus 20. And that equals 32. And just like the last example, we then do the opposite operations to leave us with y on its own. So add 20 to both sides, because that's the term without the letter in. Deal with that first. So negative 20 plus 20 is 0, but we've got to do add 20 to the other side as well to make it fair. So we're left with 8y's are going to be worth 52. We want to know what 1y is. This says 8 times, so divide by 8 both sides to make it a fair thing to do. So we end up with y equals 52 divided by 8. Well, when you divide by 8, it's like halving, 26, halve again, 13, halve again, 6.5. So we think the answer there is 6.5. Again, we should check. So the check is put the value we think works back into the equation we were given. So we've got 4 times 2 lots of 6.5, take away 5. Well, do the bracket first under the BIDMAS principles. So 2 lots of 6.5 is 13, take away 5 is 8. So this is saying 4 lots of 8, which is 32. So again, our check kind of confirms what went on. This last one, we're thinking about what happens when we've got the letter we need to find the value of on both sides of the equation. So remember, it's an equation because we are finding the value of a letter that will make the statements true. Easiest way to do it is to get the letters onto one side of the equation. So this is considered to be the left-hand side of the equation, and this is the right-hand side of the equation. Got a bracket again, so the first thing to do is expand that out. So 5p plus 7 equals 12, take away 3p. I want the letters onto one side. The 5p is already positive, so the best thing to do is to move this bit over here. We've got to remember this says take away 3p. I want it to disappear, so I need it to become 0. So I add 3p. Negative 3p plus 3p, 0. But I must do the same to the other side to make it a fair thing. So 8p plus 7 equals 12 is what we're left with at the moment. Again, we're trying to get p on its own. So this is the term without the p in it, so we'll deal with that first. Take away 7. So we end up with 8p's, well 12 take away 7 is 5, 7 take away 7 is 0, and we're left with the 8p, should have done nothing to it yet. This says that we're going to times, so the opposite to move it is divide. 8 divided by 8 is 1, that's what we want, 1p. 5 divided by 8 is 5/8. Leave the answer as a fraction, don't need to work it out because we just need to know it works. We should check. So we've got 5 times 5/8 plus 7, that's the left hand side. 5 times 5/8 is 25/8. 25/8 when you cancel that down, 8 into 25 is 3 whole ones, so an eighth. So add those together, we get 10 and 1/8. On the other side, we've got 4 take away 5/8. Well, 4 take away 5/8 is equal to 3 and 3/8. And then the bracket says we're doing 3 of those, so we need 3 of those. So 3 times 3 and 3/8. Well, 3 times 3/8 is 9/8. That's the same as 1 and an eighth. 3 3s are 9, so this is 10 and 1/8. Again, happy days, the check works. So the answer here is 5/8. Again, the key thing when we've got the letter on both sides is to move the letters to one side. Wherever the bigger the number of the letters are, we move things to the other side to make positives. This was already positive, this was a takeaway. So this was smaller than this, so therefore we do the opposites, add 3p to both sides to move it across, and so forth. And answers can be fractions, guys, so leave it as a fraction. That's a quick run through of solving equations.